wanted to switch a little bit now and pivot and talk about the Art of Autism. We have on our wall the Art of Autism calendar, and
I love that.
and we love everything that the Art of Autism does. We've had Deborah on the show a couple of times, so I don't know how it has never worked out, first with the radio show and then with this, that we never had you on. But you're a very busy person and you travel around the world and you do a lot of different things where you go and speak and lead workshops. So I don't, I think that that's part and parcel of it. Plus I'm a dipstick and sometimes don't follow up like a dog on a pork chop like I need to be. But you're here now,
Right?
and that's what we're focusing on. So talk to us a little bit about, for somebody who's never seen before, how did the Art of Autism come to be and what kinds of things, because I know you guys are doing a lot of different things now. So talk to us about what's going on.
I like backstories as long as they're, positive and germane to what we're saying.
Sure.
So Deborah and I met, I think it was about, we still can't figure it out, like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And we were put together in a hotel room in Sacramento.
Just as strangers? You were
as strangers. We were lobbying with the ARC and with regional centers, and we were walking the state capitol, and we were talking to our legislators, Assembly and Senate, and bringing them into the mindset of certain bills, by the way, that ended up going against our community. We were advocating against, for example, disclosure of your financials. And we would scream from the rooftop, parents, please show up, please advocate. And guess who called us, like in droves for years? Why do I have to show them my tax returns? And so we met as legislative advocates in a hotel room. Oh, hi, I'm Keri. I'm Deborah. Okay. And we talked through the night. And we shared that we both had boys with autism, and we shared their stories, and we shared their love of artistic endeavors. Kevin's a painter. And Taylor, although he loves art and he does do that, his thing is and has always been film and, of course, video games. And so we talked through the night about our passions, our dreams, our hopes, what have you. Fast forward many, many years, about, I don't remember when it was the first Art of Autism book came out, but I called her up one day and I said, you're going to write a book. You're the person to do it with all this art from all the people that we know, and I've got the publisher for you. That book was published, it moved on, and 6 years ago, we created the Art of Autism, and the second book Deborah would put together in a beautiful way. And so for 6 years, we've been partners in crime. I think a lot of autism moms, and I call us mama bear managers, I think a lot of us tend to team up. She's strong when I am weak. I am strong when she is weak. And so we've built the Art of Autism for 6 years as a collaborative around the world. It's international. We became a nonprofit 8 months or so ago.
Really?
And yes, and we have, I still can't get the head count, but it's over 500, heading in somewhere into the 600-700 artists with autism or autistic artists, if that's how you prefer to look at it, in the world. And so what we do today, we've got some exciting things to share. And we will be at the Autism and Love conference. Normal People Scare Me Too will be screened at Autism and Love in San Diego.
That's the 9th.
October 8th and 9th, I think it is. And the Art of Autism now, for the first time ever, we're so excited, it happened this week. We have 3 art contests that will monetize the artist.
Love it.
We've done, for our calendars, whatnot, we've had calls for art, and people have donated it, if you will, for, it builds their resume, it builds their confidence, it builds their esteem. And so we've been doing that for years, like lots of different, we call them projects. But now we're kickstarting just literally the first of this month, it's September. 3 contests. The first one is $100 to kickstart. We're going to start an online store to sell our artists' art.
Wonderful.
But we can't build Rome in a day. So we're starting with one artist who wins this contest, and we're going to put that, whether it's on T-shirts or mugs, etc., and begin to monetize not just the artist, but the Art of Autism. We've been paying as we go out of us, Deborah especially, out of our pockets to do this for 6 years. Now we're finally getting to the point where we're monetizing.
Wow.
The second contest I'm really excited about. In fact, there's a surprise coming into the studio for our next segment.
Yes.
And it's a contest for the cover of a DVD.
Okay.
It's called A Sound Paradigm, and we'll more about that in a while. And the winner of that contest will receive $500.
Love it.
Plus, copies of the film and bragging rights and the whole thing.
And it goes on the resume.
And then the next one, I have to be careful because we're still unrolling all the deal points, but it's a major company in the world that will be having 775 from January to June. They're going out across America and they're having these events.
Yeah.
And 3 lucky artists are going to have their abstraction tell the story of this company's product.
Oh.
And I can't say the amount of the prize,
but
it's really big.
Okay.
I mean, these 3 winners, whoever is chosen, it will make a very big impact in their lives.
It's so exciting. And I have to say that, there are probably some parents who are watching who maybe don't have the arts background that you have and that Deborah have, and they hear these stories of how kids access something in the arts. I think everybody gets excited, but I've heard this from parents before about, I don't know what to do. Like you had that moment where you put the paint on his fingers and your instinct said, I don't know what I'm doing, but keep going. And parents will write in and say, I don't know how to do that. And I think that one of the great things about the Art of Autism is that it gives them a door into your world, to see what other people are doing, to take a look, and that's inspiration, right? And to hear your story and to know, okay, you didn't know what you were doing, but that all these things have come to fruition. So talk to us a little bit about if a family is watching.
Oh, I love this question.
And like what obviously they want to go to the website, but what kinds of things can they be participating in to find these hidden gems in our kids?
I love this. First of all, I randomly, arbitrarily, because I didn't know this question was coming, but I love this question.
Okay.
I'm going to randomly give 3 tips, let's just say.
Okay.
And I would call this stick figures allowed.
Okay.
All right. You do not have to be an artist or have an artist's background or be a Rembrandt, level artist, if you will. Stick figures are allowed. So the number 1 tip for parents is sit down with your children, turn off technology, turn off your phone, by the way, and sit down and just doodle. Yeah. Even if, like I've never met a kid with the thousands of kids that I've met, and I've worked one-on-one with hundreds, because I used to do summer camps and whatnot. And I facilitate for the Friendship Circle, Sunday Circle. So I have droves of kids, and I teach art to adults on Sundays. These are people who love art, right? And so a parent might say, well, my kid doesn't really love art.
Right.
But I consider it the arts. There's not a kid alive I've ever met who doesn't migrate toward one area of the arts or another.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether it's music, whether it's movement, whether it's drama, whether it's art, or we could even include things like surfing, or equine therapy, etc. So number 1 is presume competence and sit with your kid. And even if they don't want to involve or there's sensory issues, there's ways around those sensory issues, then model it for them.
Yeah.
It's I like to say tip number 2 is show me, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Show me, don't tell me. Now, here's the thing about parents. They get the neurotypical or not, whatever.
Right.
They get into their head and they make all these decisions. Yeah. And so they don't want to sing out loud. I used to do Carol Gray social stories was the one creative thing in Taylor's childhood. Right. But something in me said, don't say it, sing it. Right. So put on your shoes and tell me that you love me. I wrote these social stories according to that formula. Right. And I shared them, but I sang it. And, today, I didn't know it at the time that, this side of the hemisphere is spoken language, but this side is singing. Right. And so we have kids write nonverbal, but they sing in the Christmas or the Hanukkah play, right? Yes. So presume competence and in yourself as well.
Yeah.
And if you're going to dare, if you will, and I use this intentionally, to raise that bar for the kid,
Yes.
then who are you not to demonstrate that and raise the bar for
There
yourself?
you go. I love that.
So get off your ego, parents. I love you to death. I am you.
Right.
You're my sisters and my brothers in this thing called autism.
Right.
But get off your ego and begin to dance with your kid, even if you can't dance.
Exactly.
Begin to draw with your kid, even if you can't draw.
I love it.
And if you can't carry a tune, or there are families who. There's quite a few of them. You probably know some of them.
Yeah.
They do full-on productions once a year
Yes.
and enroll their community, right?
Right.
You know kind of who I'm
Yes.
talking about. There's a couple of them now.
Yes.
There are so many things that parents can do if they just get out of their head,
Yeah.
get into your heart, and sing off key, if that's what you do.
I love it. I love it. I want to make sure, because we're running out of time and we want to get to this third segment, but for the Art of Autism, to go to the website, it's the-art-of-the-autism.com.
It is, and when we got that name, which of course that was no problem, but we could not get that URL. Somebody else has it. They probably
please.
get a lot of our traffic.
We're autism-live.com because Autism Live was taken by somebody who isn't using it. So that's what it is. But it helped. I sort of love your URL, because I'm like, well, autism, we have hyphens.
Oh,
It's just
really quick. I don't know when this is going to go out for public consumption.
Well, we're live now.
Oh,
and
hi.
And then it will replay all day, and then we'll cut it up into segments that they'll be able to find on our YouTube and our iTunes and Stitcher and Roku.
Then I have to tell you about Poems for Peace.
Okay.
September 21st is World Peace Day, or International Peace Day.
Okay.
And throughout the month of September, the Art of Autism is supporting Poems for Peace.
Okay.
Our first blog is going out with poems created by people with autism.
Okay.
And or artwork, and we're still able, because we can post as at will. It's not this target date per se; it's the whole month.
Okay.
We are a stand for peace, and peace begins in our hearts.
Yes, doesn't it just?
So
where do people send them? Do they go to the
Keri
Art of Autism?
Keri at normalfilms.com, because this is sort of my project
KeriAtNormalFilms.com.
within the Art of Autism.
Okay.
So
if they have a poem or a piece of art that they want to send to you to be considered for that, they can do that. Keri at normalfilms.com.
Yeah, and there's so many tips on how kids can write poems. Just go online and look it up, because if you
Okay.
think you can't, parents are welcome to write poems and send them in too.
Okay.
Or
great.
siblings.
All right, fabulous.